Hi, Dominique.
Hi, Caryn-Ann.
Well, welcome to our interview today. I think we're here because we've just launched our latest sustainability report. And I was wondering if you could let us know a little bit more about why GeoPost reports.
Actually, we do it for two main reasons. One which is about making sure that on a daily basis we communicate on progress as one of our commitment to the UN Global Compact signature by our CEO back in 2016. And the second reason is that we would like and we want on a yearly basis to communicate on the main achievements and challenges that we had on the ESG, environmental social governance performance within GeoPost.
That's great. And I was just wondering, is there anything that is really significant about the report this year? Have we tried to build in certain elements?
There was a particular effort to make it precise, readable, and readable in the sense that to be appealing to the reader, and making sure that we increase the level of transparency with more figures, more tables, at least encompassing the completeness of our impact. And this was for us a key ambition to show as well the increase of sustainability maturity within our company.
That's great. And I think it's quite interesting because obviously we're looking at our overall sustainability impact and our progress since last year. Could you maybe let us know a little bit about what we might find in the report? What is sustainability at GeoPost?
We really try to focus on all our impact of affecting all our stakeholders, being our customers, employee, partners, suppliers, and so on. We do encompass the environmental, social, and governance pillars. On the environmental part, 2023 was a year where a lot of things and a lot of important milestones were achieved. One of the first that I would like to talk about is the Net Zero 2040 endorsement by Science Based Targets initiative. So that means that GeoPost now has officially a decarbonization trajectory validated by science. And for us, for GeoPost, it's a key opportunity and as well a key responsibility, because now we have to decarbonize at least by 90% in 2040 and sequestrate the remaining by offsetting. So net zero is the first very important milestone that was approved, and we are the first logistics and transport company to validate both a near and long-term target in that area. One of the elements that was as well related to this net zero commitment is that for the second year in a row, we had an absolute reduction of our greenhouse gas emissions. This is a very important sign. This means that obviously, even if the volumes are a bit flat, we still have a lot of initiative in each and every GeoPost business unit to decarbonize. First of them being the daily optimization of our operations, filling up the truck, making sure that we do the most optimized distances with our trucks and vans. So that's the first one. But the other one, obviously, is the decarbonization of our fleets, being the first and last mile and the mid and long distance trucks. Mm-hmm. So absolute reduction as a key milestone, a key element of the net zero journey. And to keep everything under control, at least to try and keep this trajectory under control, 2023 was as well the year where we implemented the carbon budget of GeoPost. What is a carbon budget? Maybe you will ask me, Caryn.
Exactly. I mean, I think we can understand what a budget is, but what is a carbon budget?
Actually, it's not about euros.
Okay.
Not really about euros. It's about emissions, so greenhouse gas emissions, a maximum amount of greenhouse gas emissions that is defined at business unit level, and which one is monitored over the months or the quarters. And obviously we link this carbon budget with the necessary investments, being OPEX and CAPEX, that will enable us to reach this carbon budget. So this is a very innovative way of making sure, at least, being in control of our carbon emissions trajectory, and where the business unit indeed were at least very motivated to implement and to follow up over the months. Last but not least, our customers. Customers are key. Customers, we are part of their supply chain. We are their scope 3 emissions, so their indirect emissions. They expect us not only to decarbonize, obviously, but as well to provide them the information about the decarbonization results. And for the decarbonization results, they do expect not only nice stories, nice pictures, they do expect real data, almost real-time data, with the carbon calculator, for example.
That's great. And I think also what's quite interesting is that what we see in the report is also a reflection maybe on some of the challenges that we face. Now, you mentioned that we've achieved an absolute reduction for a second year running. What are maybe some of the challenges that we see in terms of decarbonization in the next few years?
Definitely in a time where investments are maybe a bit more difficult to make because of economic adverse situation. It's definitely a challenge for a company like Geopods that mainly depends on fossil fuel and vehicles. This is basically road transportation. Basically, is 88% of our global emissions. So this is the thing we have, the fight we have to lead. So in those difficult times, we still have to invest, and that's for me the key challenge: making sure that we have the right charging strategy for all our 9,000 electric vehicles deployed at the end of 2023, and that we are still able as well to define a clear journey to decarbonize what is for me the most challenging part of our business, the line haul part, so the mid and long term transportation part, where for the time being we do what we can do, meaning we invest in a transition energy, being biogas or biofuels, like HVO in the UK and Ireland, where today I believe that almost 64% of their global iron ore is powered with this biofuel energy. But for us, it's clear it's only a transition to electromobility, and the remaining challenge, you understand it, Caryn, is to definitely find the right trucks, the right operating framework, including the charging points and ultra-fast charging points along the corridors in Europe and elsewhere, to be able to run such a network. And that will be for me the main challenge in 2025 and 4, and beyond.
Absolutely. And I think we've also had some successful use cases where we are using electric truck technologies. So a big area that we still need to work on.
Exactly. I wanted to ask you a question as well, Caryn, because as Associate Director for and in charge of all the engagement activities, I believe that engagement is going to be key as well, and is key in our business to make sure that we deliver on our promises. So can you tell us a bit more what's happening in the area of communities involvement?
Yeah, of course. So obviously one key part of the work that we do on sustainability is how we support our local communities. So obviously we have sites and operations around the world, particularly in Europe. And we have quite an active community giving and support program called Closer Communities. And we have a number of initiatives and programs that are running throughout our business. And often these are very much led and suggested by our employees. So we have some interesting examples, like in the UK, where we had City Sprint that organised a bike ride around the UK to raise money for a local charity. And so we also have quite an interesting partnership on the corporate level with FEBA, which is the European Food Bank Federation, where we support them not only financially, but also within our business units by either delivering undelivered or donating undelivered food parcels from some of our food customers, or even by providing transport services, because ultimately the big challenge for the food banks is to make sure that they're able to get those food items from their logistics centres out to their food banks. So we do a lot with the local community, and I think that's something that, as I said, is really employee-led and something that is one way for us to kind of give back to the communities that we operate in.
Makes a lot of sense in times as well of crisis and the one that we know at the current time. Yeah.
So you mentioned the CO2 calculator as one of the highlights from the report. Obviously, we launched the calculator last year for our customers. So what are we doing now to kind of continuously improve the calculator? I know that data and the quality of data that we're using within the calculator is a big topic for us. Could you maybe speak a little bit to how we see data playing a role, not only in improving GHG emissions calculations, but more broadly within sustainability?
Yeah, you're right. 2023 was a great year from a carbon information disclosure point of view, and we knew already from many years that customers were again asking more and more precise information when it comes to their parcel emissions. So we defined and we created internally together with the IT department, the marketing department of Geopost and sustainability department, obviously, a very powerful tool that enables us to use the tracking events of our parcels to calculate on almost real-time basis the weight of carbon emissions that is produced. So that was a great achievement. The tool is one of the let's say one of the most robust as far as we know on the market, and has been accredited by the Smart Freight Center, an organization, NGO that we're working with on the freight decarbonization topic. So great milestone. We know that we are not at the end of the story, because we still need to improve the accuracy of data that we're incrementing in the tool. Not only using average data, but going to more real life or raw data. This is one of the topic, or as well having a more complete coverage of our needs, like including pallets, for example, even though it's not our business, and as well working on more predictability, because now we're able to inform our customers on what was the CO2 emissions based on the historical shipments, but our aim is as well to be much more accurate and much more vocal on the estimation before sending a parcel through the Geopost network.
Yeah, and I think that data is going to play a big role, and it's really important. Perhaps kind of looking ahead, and I think what's quite interesting is also to note that within the report, we've also seen how much more sustainability is actually embedded into our different processes within Geopost. Perhaps you could speak a little bit about how that's going, and where we stand today and where we're working towards in the next couple of years.
Yeah, embedding is the way forward. Sustainability tries to be everywhere. I mean, it's not the topic of our departments, Caryn-Ann, we know it, and we want sustainability to be embedded everywhere in our business. And this is a daily work with almost all the departments in the head office, but as well in the business units, being the finance, the operations, the sales colleagues, the legal departments, and so on, and the marketing, obviously, and communications. If we want to, just to give a few examples, I mentioned the carbon budget a few minutes before. Carbon budgets for me is a true mean that shows how far we want to go in terms of integration, because setting a target is great, but making sure that we are on par with this target, or even better than the target trajectory, is better. And this carbon budget for me is a true sign that involving finance and managing the CO2 emissions in the same meetings, in the same times, in quarterly campaigns, in the same budget seminar at the end of the year, including the CEO and the CFOs, is a sign of inclusion. That's for me a powerful element. The second one I would like to mention is as well the inclusion of sustainability criteria now in all our new hub and depots investment requests.
Yeah.
So simply said, when a business unit would like to invest in a depot or a hub, they have to obviously give a business case, and this business case is not only about an amount of parcels and a number of square meters, it's as well about which are the environmental features of the new building. How are they going to manage the vehicles? What's going to be the impact of these new depot hubs when it comes to positioning differently on the territory of a given business unit? What's going to be the impact? So we are going as well as far as possible, asking all the I would say the burning questions to our business unit, making sure that we have as much as possible the confidence that this meets the sustainability GeoPost criteria as we've defined a sustainability building program for that.
And that's great progress and really important, so it's good to hear.
2 examples.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
there are many more.
Yeah, no, but that's great, and I think they're really kind of fundamental in terms of helping to put sustainability at the heart of the way we operate. And perhaps then just a final question, I guess, is looking ahead. What is in store for us as a team, sustainability team, but also more broadly for the business when it comes to sustainability in 2024 and beyond?
I will start with the upcoming directive called Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, where GeoPost, as part of La Poste Group, will be required from a mandatory point of view to report on many environmental, social and governance topics and data points. It's going to be both a challenge and potentially a burden. Even we will have to ask a lot of data to our business units and to collect this data, which will be mostly qualitative, by the way, which we are not used to collect. But at the same time, I consider this CSRD directive as a game changer and really, for me, almost an historical happening in our company life and in global business life, because this regulation will really seek to position sustainability at the same level as financial management. So it will never be the same again. Again, it will take time to implement that, to report on all the carbon pollution, biodiversity impact, or the employee KPIs, or even workers in supply chain, more challenging even. So these new regulations for us is a game changer. Now we are currently organizing ourselves to prepare and to put all the right elements in place to be able to meet this regulation. Again, to use the regulation as a real opportunity to make our business change in a more sustainable way. The second point I wanted to mention is still and it's more a challenge looking ahead, it's to make sure that we sustain our SBTI trajectory. I mentioned the carbon budget. I mentioned the responsibility that gives such a great trajectory and ambition. But for me, 2024 and beyond will be challenging years because we need to speed up the pace, still in a pretty constrained environment when it comes to economical context. So for me, looking ahead, having the right figures, having the right investment, the right knowledge on what's going to be invested in each and every business unit, and enabling the management to make the choices, for me, it's really a key element that we'll need to again pursue in 2024. And I will turn maybe the question to you, looking ahead, because we know that with this carbon budget and with this SBTI trajectory, we are engaging a lot with head office people, a lot with the top management, which is obviously which supports heavily the sustainability journey, but I believe it's not enough.
And I completely agree with you. I think, as a business, we will never actually reach our sustainability goals if all employees aren't all our employees aren't with us in part of as part of that transition. And so I really think looking ahead in 2024, but also beyond, it's about how do we actually kind of embark and really bring all of our employees with us on the sustainability journey. So we strongly believe that that's something that we can do through more awareness raising and training. So obviously we've been running climate change workshops for the last few years now through the climate fresque, or la fresque du climat. But I think we're also working to go beyond just climate training. It's more about how we can also help our employees to actually engage more proactively within their own roles, but also by giving them opportunities to get engaged. And I think that's really, for me, an important part of what we're doing around sustainability. Because, as you said very well earlier on, it's not only the sustainability team that is accountable or responsible for this. It really is a company-wide program, and I think a belief in that this is the way that business should be done. As we say, we're driving change, sparking progress to move forward. So I think the engagement and the training dimensions are also really important. So
all in all, it's about making things all together for tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yes, very good. And that's the name of our report. So please have a look at it, and feel free to reach out if there are any questions.